Hey guys, I am back and I want to talk about the conclusion of the Surviving R. Kelly documentary. It aired tonight on Lifetime, and I gotta talk about it. So basically, this oh man, this episode was even more disturbing than the first one. Yeah, there was a lot of disturbing pieces to this documentary, especially this last episode. Man, so much. I'm gonna talk about what stood out to me. First of all, I want to talk about the Savages, which was Joycelyn Savage's mom and dad, and Joycelyn was the girl who I couldn't think of her name in my previous video that I did about the first episode, but she was the girl. She was the young lady that he basically has her living with him. Her parents haven't seen her for about 2 years or whatever. She's the one that I said that she was on TMZ and she did a brief interview with TMZ, but she really wasn't, telling them anything. And you could see somebody like on her shirt, you could see somebody like coaching her, telling her to stop talking and just to cut or whatever. And I believe that was R. Kelly. That's Joycelyn Savage. Well, what I want to say is I cannot believe that her mother and father put her in connection with R. Kelly, knowing his reputation, knowing his background, knowing his the previous allegations that he's had over the years. Why would you put your daughter in contact with him? They said it was for the advancement of her music career, and he basically did like the Pied Piper. He did that with most of these girls. He would lure them in somehow, basically for their career is what they were under the guise of, and he would basically just whisk them away, and they don't see or talk to their parents anymore. Like, what kind of shit? I can't even believe that he's even getting away with it. Like, it's crazy. Um but I just felt like, what was her parents thinking, or were they just thinking about some money or whatever? The same goes for the as the it wasn't Clary the Clarys. Their daughter name was Azriel. She linked up with him under the guise of getting her career started. And one thing I noticed that a lot of these women had to say, the ones who they would get with him and they would be like, "Oh, this is R. Kelly. This is R. Kelly." Like, a lot of these women, and that was one of the main consistent things I kept hearing was, "Oh, I did it because it was R. Kelly. I didn't want to tell him no because it was R. Kelly." And I'm like, wow. And so it goes to show you that a lot of these girls were impressed with who he was and his status and things like that, but that still didn't give him a right to abuse his celebrity status and use it against them to lure them like the damn Pied Piper. Okay. Um. Yeah, I just really, this was really disturbing, and it was seemed like it was long as hell. I remember thinking like, damn, when is it going off? Shit, I done seen enough, like, for real. Um, but yeah, so another thing that stood out to me was the girl, Kitty Jones. Honey, let me tell you something. I have no sympathy for her. I'm sorry, because she got with him when she was in her 30s. She's in her 30s. She's a grown ass woman. She knew what the deal was with him, but for whatever reason, she still wanted to fuck with him. A lot of people be thinking they're gonna be different in a situation. Oh, he ain't gonna do that to me. Oh, but no, I mean, I feel like she shouldn't even been on the documentary. She should not have, because in that situation with her, it was not a game of manipulation. It was just your choice as a grown ass woman. You wanted to go be with him. You wanted to sleep with him. She talked about how she wouldn't have introduced herself to him. Like, you wanted to get with him. So I don't really like. I really do feel like she could have been left off of this documentary. Real talk. But there were just so many situations. So the one chick, her last name was Gardner. What was her name? Michelle. Michelle was the mother. The daughter name was Dominique. So Dominique had been lured into his clutches too. She was one of the victims or whatever. And she basically her mother found where she was at this hotel or whatever and went to go get her. First she she tried to act like she didn't want her mother to come there and she didn't want to be bothered, but then she ended up talking to her mother on the phone and told her mother to come back at 6 and stuff. But then when she came back at 6, when she tried to come back, she told her to tell, she said that she lied. She told them that was not her mother and that she was going to call the police on her and things like that. We all know that was R. Kelly. We all know that was him probably coaching her to tell her that. But then Dominique ended up, going back to her mom anyway. So she was rescued. But here's the thing. Her mother said that she's been dealing with R. Kelly on and off for 9 years. Y'all, this shit crazy. And I'm going to be honest with you. It does feel like he's getting away with this because these are black girls. Think about it. Okay, so the situation with Bill Cosby, it's not too much different from R. Kelly. Not really. If you think about it, it's not really different. Only difference was Bill Cosby was allegedly putting drugs in their drinks and making them unconscious and not know what the hell's going on. R. Kelly is mind fucking these girls and basically, just having them brainwashed or whatever, but he's still doing something that's inappropriate. So here's the thing. The difference between R. Kelly and Bill Cosby is that 95% of Bill Cosby's accusers were white women. And all of R. Kelly's are black. So it does kind of feel as though nothing's being done because these are black girls. And it's so unfortunate. And it's so, you know what I'm saying? And black women already have a stigma. There's already a thing that says that black women are over sexualized and things like that. So it's like, I don't know, like it's just really like kind of like disheartening to see that nothing's being done about it. Like I said though, believe it or not, like I said in my earlier video, believe it or not, this happens a lot. Like younger women getting in the hands of older men, and having consensual sex, but still it's statutory rape because these girls are underage. I don't know, y'all. It was just a lot of disturbing pieces to this situation. Like I said, Kitty Jones could have stayed off of this documentary as far as I was concerned. I have no sympathy for her, none whatsoever. I just couldn't believe how the Savages and I cannot say their last name, the Clearleys. I cannot believe how both of that husband and wife, the Savages and the Clearleys, I cannot believe how you guys, you let your daughters get in cahoots with R. Kelly, knowing his past. That's what I could not wrap my brain around. I'm like, they know his past, and they're like, well, he was acquitted, and he was not charged, and he was not found guilty. So what? They're like, oh, we just thought it was okay because even though we knew about his reputation, he was not charged. So what? The fact that he was even accused would have been enough for me to not even let my daughter go 2 feet of that man. Like, for real. I don't know. People just do what they want to do. And when shit backfires, they want to blame other people instead of themselves. I feel like in those two situations, those damn parents need to blame them. They damn self. You put your daughter in contact with R. Kelly in hopes to get a damn singing career popping off. That was on y'all. Those two parents. Sheesh. But who else? I really thought it was good that Michelle went after her daughter Dominique. I thought it was crazy that her daughter's been dealing with R. Kelly for like 9 years on and off. That's like, wow. I mean, R. Kelly just having his way with these girls. Like, and it's like, for some reason, he just can't be stopped. Tom Joyner said something that I thought was interesting. He was saying how black people, we're very forgiving, and that's the church in us. And then somebody else was saying how a lot of us don't really want to let go of R. Kelly's music because it is attached to very good memories. And I know that's one of I mean, I can admit, like, I grew up on his music and everything, and there are some great memories attached to his music. But somebody said that, and that made a lot of good sense, and that is true to some extent. That a lot of times we kind of want to, block out the bullshit that he got going on because his music was so good and it resonated with us through our generation. And it's a lot of, it's like I said, it's a lot of good memories attached to it. So it's like, man, like, yeah, he on some bullshit with these young girls, but you know what? His music is just everything. And that's not a good thing. It's not. But Tom Joyner was saying how, he said, black folks are very forgiving. That's the church in us, and people have been very forgiving of R. Kelly over the years. I remember for a while, Tom Joyner wasn't playing his music. Then I think he started playing his music again, but, yeah, it's just, I don't know. Let me see what else happened. Oh, Faith Rogers. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. And then the one girl went to his house. She went to the old house. Her name was Ashante. Yeah, she went to the house that she lived in with him, and it made her get emotional, and she started crying and stuff, and she said those are memories that she just really don't want to remember. The Faith Rogers girl, she said that she had met Joycelyn when R. Kelly took her to the house or whatever, because she was dealing with him too. And she said she said he gave her herpes. Like, oh my gosh, it's crazy. She said she met Joycelyn, and she said that after she experienced a couple things with him, she cut him off. I was glad to hear that she cut him off. I was glad to hear that she had the balls and the nerve and the courage to cut him off, because a lot of those girls act like they were scared to cut him off. Yeah, that was just that was kind of sad. That was really kind of sad to know that those girls went through that and that they allowed themselves to go through that. And that they seemed like they really were brainwashed. It's like, don't get me wrong, this documentary was filled with a lot of shit that we already knew and a lot of stuff we had heard over the years. But some of that stuff to actually see, and when you actually look at just how many, like, he had so many women, young girls that he was dealing with, and just we heard all these stories, and it was like, oh damn, like, you really do have a problem, dude. Like, who raised you? Shit. Like, man, I don't know, y'all. Oh, excuse me. I'm so sorry about that, y'all. I don't know where that came from. But I just drunk a Coke, that makes sense. But yeah, so I don't know, y'all. What do y'all think? Man, it was deep to me, like, oh. And they were saying, like, R. Kelly is one person, but Robert is like the devil, and that's just awful. So yeah, I tuned into it. I'm glad there's no more to it. I hope they don't make no more to it. That was enough. That was enough. Again, I just don't see how all of this is going on, and nothing. Like, I don't get it. How does your daughter with somebody for years, and I don't know, y'all. But all right, y'all, that's all I really wanted to say about it. It's a very disturbing piece or whatever, and I hope those girls end up coming to their senses. The ones who are still supposedly staying with him, hope they come to their senses and go back home and put this behind them and live their lives or whatever, live their best lives. And it's just unfortunate, y'all. It really is. All right.